but I promised last week that I would talk about Buffer doing automated social media scheduling for your business. And now I got to make sure that I share the right thing. So to back up, and you see my whole screen, Merle, too?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest problems, challenges that we have as business owners, especially real small, lean and mean business owners, is getting our stuff out on social media, which is our main means of marketing these days. And so if you've ever tried to keep up with doing it on your own, on your phone or whatever, any day, all day, two traps there. For one, it's too time consuming. The other is that you get lost. You end up getting sidetracked into the social media trap. So it's not an efficient way to go. What is a good, efficient way to go is Buffer. Buffer is a online utility that you can purchase. For a single person can purchase this, as I did, for $140 for a year. And it will allow you, I believe, up to 8 channels. So I have, if you see here, Twitter, I have 3 Facebook pages, and that would be my personal, my Edwards Communications, and Over 50 Starting Over.
Okay.
And so yeah, I see the 3. These are the 3 right here. And then LinkedIn. And in LinkedIn, I also have in there Over 50 Starting Over, as well as my personal and business. And then that's Pinterest. And then this is Instagram. Instagram doesn't work that great just because of the way they post. I just warning you, you do have to do an extra step. It'll actually, when it's ready to post, when it's hits its schedule, it'll ping you on your phone and say, go post this to open up Instagram and post this. So there's that. The rest is completely automated. I want to show you how I do it. That makes it kind of easy. I use the same format all the time. I go to an existing post such as this, I copy it, and I'm just going to hit save. And then, so here's how you make a new post. So this is my website. And with my website, and hopefully yours is fairly similar, I have both a blog, which is my News Mojo, different kinds of stuff under there. And I have my case studies. And what I like to do, go to view all case studies. I open up my blog, a bunch of pages of my blog over here in tabs, and then a bunch of case studies over here in other tabs. And I like to mix them up. All right. Because if you're doing just case studies, hopefully you have very interesting case studies that people can identify with in your industry. But too much of it can look like spamming. So you want to mix it up with like your blogs and stuff like that. So like at Reputation Management 101, and I tell you all about that. Got a little video here. And so let's take a case study. I haven't done this one yet, so I'm going to do this one right now. And I'm going to just, what would you like to share? Boom, put this in. I'm pasting the one from before in here.
Right, I see that.
Now I take this link out that I put in. See, it says full article. See, I type this all myself. I like to put dashes around the heading because it doesn't come in like big and bold as you would wish. It just comes in as type. So this makes it look a little more.
I got you. It sets it off, right?
Yes, exactly. So this is all just my techniques that I've developed over time. This is not any Buffer standard. It's a Barry standard. So I type in, this is just me again, full article, a couple dashes, and then that caret right there for a clever little arrow. I put the article in here. Let's get rid of this existing link that was from before, because now when I come over here and I click copy this URL, right, I paste it in here, and now it's linking up.
Oh, cool.
That's so then neat. Your hashtags are important, so that if somebody is following branding or corporate identity or lead generation, online marketing, whatever, that these will more likely show up in their feed.
Okay.
So then from here, I customize these links. So let's finish this off. First of all, full page magazine cover for the Cleveland Ad Association. So let's replace this title. And then I have some excerpt descriptive stuff. I took this photo in Little Italy from and all of that. And let's I put the ... at the end so people know that.
By the way, that's a great photograph that you took.
Thank you.
That is a really cool.
That's a photo illustration, to be honest. I took that in 2000, like around 2001. And that's Little Italy. That bike just happened to be there, and that's like perfect that it was there.
It is perfect.
Because it looks like
it looks like it's in Italy.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So the megapixels were so small at that point. 1.6 megapixel Olympus camera. Like our phones take something like 20 megapixels now, you know?
Right.
So
right.
I had to blow this up because to print something takes a lot of resolution. So I had to blow this up and then use a bunch of illustrative tricks on it in order to make it look nice. And it turned out great, but thank you. So I put the excerpt in here. And of course, I already replaced that link. Now, let's see, I'd like to have Cleveland in here. This is, this is something to do for nonprofits and not-for-profits. Not really startups, entrepreneur. I like to stay in there, branding, but corporate ID, not really, but magazine cover. I love doing magazine cover art. Nonprofit, web design, no. Lead generation, no. And not really online marketing, but that's such a catch-all for me. I'm going to leave that in there. And so now what I have to do is I have to I want it to go to all of these channels. But they all take, like Pinterest always asks you, where do you want to put this? And I'm putting it under magazine design. All right, Pinterest is the only one. They all work a little differently. So now at this point, let's copy all of this. Let's paste it down here into that is Instagram. And okay, it did come over. It wants to, you got to make sure that you pick the photo to go with it. LinkedIn, very much, pretty much exactly like Facebook.
So this is, you're doing it. It's like asking you to format it for each one of these platforms,
because they have like some
little different nuances.
There you go.
Got it.
So now Pinterest, pick that photo. And this is telling me too many characters. So I have to delete some. Let's just take out that much. Okay, that one's good to go. Now I save Twitter for last because that Twitter, you only get something like the 165 characters. Yeah, so you got to really delete a lot of this stuff. And I'm just going to take this down to here and more. So sometimes you just got to go right to only the title. And okay, I mean, that's, and now pick my photo.
Twitter. Yep.
Yeah. Twitter is such a pain. That's why it's such road rage too, is because you have it's not long form conversation. So something must not be right yet because it's not letting me add to the queue yet. So let me check it out. I don't see anything wrong here. This has a little exclamation point. So that looks fine though. Please include the destination without the link shortener. This is, again, Pinterest has its own stuff. So let's put this, and then you got to enter the destination here for Pinterest. Now I can add to the queue. And that is that, folks. So it's scheduling it. And so I have all of these scheduled, and you can see by dates how scheduled out I am. I have it programmed. You can go to settings, wherever settings is, right there, and tell it how many a day. Shuffle the whole queue if you want. And I automatically use the link shortener because those big long URLs just take up your character space and are very distracting. And somewhere in here, I have it set that I post 2 a day from here. So that is how, let's go back to the queue. And I want to see if you have any questions.
I had a comment because this is really fascinating, Barry. I've been to your LinkedIn page naturally. And when I go to your activity, I see all these things, right? I mean, these things are popping up, and I was looking at it the other day and I was thinking, man, Barry does such a great job of putting really great content in here. And he must be on LinkedIn all the time doing this. And it's all this creative stuff that you're putting in here. And now come to find out you have this
automation.
You are doing this, but you're automating it. That's the thing I noticed too, was how consistent you are in this. I had no idea you were doing this, but this when I saw your page and how you had it set up, I felt really, really bad about my own LinkedIn. I'm like, oh man, I got to do a much better. How does he stay on top of this? This is fantastic, Barry. I mean, this is what a great way to market yourself
for business owners, self-employed entrepreneurs. It's a must. So it's $144 a year to get everything.
Steal.
It really is for what it does. Now, I will tell you that this is one. So I do it for my clients too. I do a couple of them. And after I get them initially scheduled, the initial format worked out, I can do it for about $250 a month, but you need the content. I mean, I showed
content is really important, and you've done a great job of really putting together an arsenal of case studies and things like that you can now use to leverage.
And it's evergreen.
This machine.
Yeah, so that's evergreen. So you need once you have the content, you can then schedule it out. But what I want to tell people is the thing that Buffer, a limitation that it has, and it has analytics here, and this also gives me a archive, a look at my archives and what I may want to share again. Now, these haven't even been, this is going out today, and this is going out Thursday. So I can share them again and put them back in the queue. But when they expire, so here's what I'm trying to say. People always ask Buffer, hey, can I not put this on a perpetual loop? So I do this one time, I schedule a whole month or two worth of posts and I can just let it go forever. No, they don't have that ability because, let me just stop sharing at this point, because it can then be seen as spam. Now you got to understand, Buffer has to play friendly with Facebook and LinkedIn, all these different social media platforms, and they have to play nice or get the big boot. And so Facebook and stuff, they don't want you just putting out spam all day on an automated loop. So they don't enable you to just put that on a complete forever cycle. So you have to come back and maintain it like every other week or whatever, however much content you have,
And this content it's going to these social media platforms. So it's managing that whole process for you. But it sounds to me like that last part is also a protection for yourself, because, if I went to your LinkedIn feed and I saw just the same thing over and over and over again, I would be like, oh, well, this is obviously not what I thought it was. But it really comes off the page, Barry, what you're doing with that.
Thank you.
In your business. And it's almost like, well, how many people work over at your company to be able to do all that? I'm serious.
That's how
it really came off.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because like I said, probably more than anything, the biggest trap is falling into the social media trap. So if you're trying to post every day, be diligent, do the right thing.
I've tried.
Yeah. Well, then the next thing you know, you're going down the Twitter rabbit hole or something like that, or Facebook, and you're caught up in some argument. And it's a time suck.
It takes too much thought too, because you're trying to be creative every day and you're trying to jump in there. And, in my company, we're constantly incenting people to put stuff into their social media feeds. But at the same time, you're always trying to find something. Fortunately, our marketing department really hands us stuff to do that with. But you want to be consistent and you want to put your own stuff in there as well. And this is a great solution for, really, if you take a look at it, it's a little more than $10 a month, and you're what a great investment.
Yeah, it truly is.
And it's tax deductible. I mean, you can
that's very true
against your business. It's
golden. So there's a lot to that. It's very, very handy, very valuable to get you noticed. If you plan on doing a post every now and then or a blog every now and then, so few people see it. But if you post regularly and start to get the hang of hashtags, more and more people will see it. But there's a marketing statistic that is age old, as old as marketing itself, that nobody will buy from you the first time they see your brand, but it takes like 3 to 5 times minimum. So they start to, oh, this person, entity, or corporation is for real,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
start to develop a brand. Now, what a brand is what a perception of your company is. So if you think you don't have a brand, you have a brand, whether you want it or not. People are going to develop perception. So realize that and help them develop the perception that you want.
Man, that brings us full circle back to text messaging again, where